You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
I think my track record speaks for itself, not just on the issues that I've advocated for, but how I conduct myself on the board and how I conduct myself with the community.
I felt the people of this county really needed a choice.
Incumbent Charlie Kennedy taking on challenger Alice Cadets for the District 2 seat on the Manatee County School Board. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have the debate between the two candidates in District 2 of the Manatee County School Board in a moment. But first, our top stories at 7, and we begin tonight with heartbreaking evidence of the toll red tide is taking. A total of 6 dolphins have been recovered within the last 24 hours in Suncoast waters. All were found in or near Venice, with the most recent 2 washed ashore on North Casey Key. Take a look at this exclusive video we shot earlier today. The Venice Marine Patrol officers towing in 2 of the dolphins pulled from the waters this morning. All 6 dolphins have now been transported to the Mote Marine Laboratory. Scientists say dolphins will usually migrate away from toxic algae, so they will be performing necropsies to determine if, in fact, it was red tide that killed them.
We will need to confirm. This is an extremely unusual event for us. We get about 15 dolphins a year. So to have 6 in less than 24 hours is not only alarming, but just, a lot of work and has us all on high alert. Every time that pager goes off, we're wondering if we're going to have another one somewhere.
Mote also told us the way the dorsal fins are shaped on the dolphins make them believe that they were not from around here. The tons of dead fish that have washed up on our shores in recent weeks have done a number on Suncoast tourism. Visit Sarasota is now talking with local businesses to get a clearer picture of just how big a hit they have taken. They have passed out a survey to various hotels, motels, vacation rentals in the area. Out of those that responded so far, 75% have seen cancellations.
What are you seeing? Are you seeing cancellations? If so, are they day of cancellations? Are they cancellations for the future?
Visit Sarasota is also planning on sending out the same survey again next week. ABC7 has been out in front of this season's red tide crisis, covering the story from every angle. Log on to mysuncoast.com to access our catalog of coverage, including answers to your most frequently asked questions. A follow-up now out of Tampa, where the mother accused of drowning her 4-year-old daughter in the Hillsborough River made an appearance in court this morning. The judge granting the state's motion for pretrial detention, the judge ruling there was more than enough evidence to continue to hold Shakayla Denson without bond. 2 witnesses spoke during today's hearing, which lasted about 3 hours. And joined by the girlfriend of the man who was shot dead by a man over a disabled parking spot at a Clearwater convenience store, Black pastors and civil rights leaders marched to Governor Scott's office today to demand a repeal of the state's controversial Stand Your Ground law. Tensions over the July 19th shooting of Marquise McLaughlin escalated after the Pinellas County Sheriff decided not to arrest the shooter, Michael Draka, citing the law that allows people who fear for their lives to use deadly force. Supporters of McLaughlin's family say the father of 3 would still be alive if Draka had not been emboldened by the law.
It's hard, and I'm still going to stand up and I'm still going to fight for what is right. And that's right. My man was right. Marquise was right.
Amen.
He was just protecting us.
Yeah.
He was a good man, a good father, and he didn't do nothing wrong.
Now, everywhere is somebody's ground. It almost suggests that black people and people of color, our ground is only where white people deem it appropriate to be.
Florida lawmakers have until noon Friday to respond to a proposal by legislative Democrats to call a special session to revisit the Stand Your Ground self-defense law. The proposal needs 3/5 support in each of the GOP-dominated legislative chambers to move on. The Braden River High School football team is facing major consequences from the Florida High School Athletic Association. The FHSAA found at least 2 of the football players were receiving, quote, impermissible benefits from boosters. The violations will cost Braden River High School $5,000 and the players will be suspended from the team for a year. Manatee County School District is standing by its football team, saying it will be appealing the ruling and, quote, are confident the decision will be overturned once the full details emerge. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the First Alert forecast. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Things are changing a little bit as a cold front is approaching the southeast, which is unusual this time of year. Typically high pressure pretty much anchored over the southeast and not allowing frontal systems to enter, but a trough in the jet stream over the Great Lakes, and a series of low pressures will bring that trough down, and that front will make it into North Georgia. It's not going to come down here and cool us down, but it will bump these areas of high pressure down to the south of us, which typically gives us that west to southwesterly wind flow, which will bring west winds. Now, the impacts of the red tide haven't been as bad the last couple of days because we've had a stronger east wind throughout the day. That changes all tomorrow, and it's already starting to change. You can see these storms are mainly inland, pushing off to the east and north. There's still a few areas of light rain in South Sarasota County near Northport. In fact, a couple of lightning strikes as well indicated by our lightning detection network near Arcadia, also near Northport, but generally light rain there. There's an upper level low feature moving through the southeast Gulf of Mexico right now, and that may bring us 1 or 2 lone showers along the coast later on this evening. Current conditions, we have some warm temperatures right now. It feels like 100 degrees out there with a temperature of 87 and a humidity at 74%. The pressure continues to rise, 30.08 inches. And get ready for some very warm and muggy nights, too, ahead as a result of that change in wind. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing a hazy day out there today with an occasional shower possibly around that area. Now we're looking at maybe some light rainfall over the next hour or so in Lakewood Ranch, but for the most part, things will stay pretty quiet near the coast. We've got that west to southwest wind up and down the coast. It's anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. A little less down in Minnesota and Warm Mineral Springs. We're still seeing a little bit of variable wind there because of the storms that were around earlier. The forecast through this evening, generally partly cloudy and warm and muggy. Up at 11 o'clock, it'll be 81 degrees, feeling like about 90. Alan?
Thanks, Bob. For the Manatee County School Board, it was a year of chaos, fighting, feuds, and meetings that seemed to get nothing accomplished. But now it's election season, and there are 3 seats up for grabs. Tonight, the focus is on the race for District 2, and ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us with more. Jess.
Alan, there are 2 candidates battling it out for this seat. There's incumbent Charlie Kennedy and a name that's well known to school board members and the school district, Alice Kadatz. Charlie Kennedy currently sits on the Manatee County School Board, representing District 2. He was elected in 2014. At that time, Kennedy was a teacher in the district, moving to Bradenton in 2004. He had to leave the classroom to serve on school board.
I had always told my students, if you see something wrong or you think you can make a positive change, don't just keep it to yourself, but stand up and try to make a difference.
His challenger is Alice Kadatz. She's the 4th generation of her family to grow up in Manatee County.
I've raised 6 children here in Manatee County, and I currently have grandchildren that attend our schools.
Kadatz has attended school board meetings for years. She's also won a legal battle with the district after a former Manatee County high school coach was accused of abusing students, including her daughter. This year, she decided to run for school board.
I felt the people of this county really needed a choice.
Kennedy wants the community to think about his accomplishments when going to the polls in late August.
I was a vote to approve doing the referendum, the millage vote in March, and to do it in March so that we would have the money available this coming school year.
An effort that added $37 million to the district's budget. And early in Kennedy's school board career,
I'm very proud to have gone to bat for Dr. Green in 2015 to be our new superintendent, because that was the board at the time wanted to do a national search, and I kind of said, wait, everybody, like we just did one, and the person who finished in second is here.
If reelected, Kennedy wants to focus on creating a student health clinic to ensure county students can see a doctor. Also, switching high school start times to 8:30.
So there are districts all over the country, small, medium, large, urban, rural, you name it. I can find you a district that has moved their start times back to 8:30.
For Kadatz, if she gets the opportunity to serve, she says she'd focus on the students' education.
Getting our 3rd grade state tests levels up, that is our 3rd graders that can read proficiently or not, and try and get hold of the budget, because lately, I don't know if you've been paying much attention, but it's like they've had a lot of cost overruns with projects, and it's just, where is that money coming from?
Kadatz says her advantage over Kennedy is that she's grown up here.
I love this county. I want to see it succeed.
For Kennedy, he says his advantage is his past.
I think my track record speaks for itself, not just on the issues that I've advocated for, but how I conduct myself on the board and how I conduct myself with the community.
Believe it or not, the election is coming up right around the corner on August 28th.
Just thanks. The rumble at the trapezoid? Next.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Welcome back. Sarasota didn't corner the market when it comes to dysfunction on the school board. Manatee School Board members gave their neighbors to the south a real run for the money. Of course, there was the incident where the school board member Dave Miner just got a little bit too close to Chairman Scott Hopes in the parking lot and threatened the efforts to remove him as board chair. Without a doubt, the school board has had its challenges. The district was nearly taken over by the state in 2012. Its superintendent just left. Like every school district, Manatee has had to deal with the aftermath of Parkland. And joining us for more are two candidates for District 2, incumbent Charlie Kennedy and challenger Alice Cadets. I welcome you both to the trapezoid. I want to give you both a minute to make the case to voters out there why you deserve to be on the school board. And Charlie, you're the incumbent. Why don't we start with you?
Okay. Well, as you heard in the intro, I'm basically running on my record of the past 4 years of being on the board. Up until 2018, it mostly had been pretty smooth sailing. We were engaged in a financial and academic recovery of the district. This year has been a little bit, as you alluded to in your opening, has been a little bit different. And as in your opening segment, now we've got some new issues, including the, an issue with one of our deputy superintendents. So my ask to voters would be, just kind of look at my track record. And given the challenges that we have in front of us, I think if they look at my track record, they'll see that I'm well suited to continue the job.
Alice?
I have raised 6 children here in Manatee County, so I have watched, I've been to board meetings for the last 25, 30 years, so I'm very aware of what's been going on. It has been a roller coaster. the past few years has been very turbulent, to say the least. I think that those issues would be best served by somebody new stepping in and maybe a different perspective on things. Thank you.
All right. Our conversation with the candidates for District 2 on the Manatee County School Board continues right after we get the check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Alan, get a look at the tower cam right now from Casey Key. The webcam there showing, well, this is a tower cam looking over Sarasota Bay, but you can see skies generally clear. Last night we had a lot of shower activity around, creating some gorgeous colors. I don't think it'll be quite as good, but still, with these high clouds in place, it should be fairly nice. Send your photos and the pics, pix@mysuncoast.com. Now we go to the webcam here, and this is showing Casey Key, and we have had quite a bit of shower activity around down south, but not much going on at Casey Key as far as that goes, and we are looking for the potential for just a few isolated showers along the coast. Not a lot of activity going on right now. Again, the shower activity that we're seeing is basically inland areas pushing off toward the north now, and most of it is focused inland near Polk County, also into Highlands County, near Lake Okeechobee. Once in a while, some light rain popping up in South Sarasota. You can see that near Northport, Inglewood, and Venice, and expect some light rainfall around here for the next half hour or so, as some of the outflow from these storms are creating these light showers that you see right now, which is generating a few isolated lightning strikes as well. Most of the heavy rain over in Arcadia, although it's still raining there. Some moderate rainfall. They had quite a bit earlier. There's still some dry air in place in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. We're talking 20, 30,000 feet, which is inhibiting a wide coverage of storms across the state at this point. And there's an upper level low. You can see it spinning right there in that counterclockwise fashion, moving off to the west-northwest. It's really not enhancing the storms all that much at this point. And we are expecting that light rain to linger for a little while longer down in South Sarasota, moving into North Sarasota here in the next half hour. And then those showers in the interior portions winding down after midnight. And then we'll see generally fair skies. Now to start the day tomorrow, we'll have west to southwest winds, which will favor a few isolated showers near the coast just after sunrise. And then along the breeze, the sea breeze, that activity will move inland and it will intensify as it moves toward the east coast later on in the day. Similar conditions expected on Saturday. Now there is a frontal boundary which will stay to our north, basically, which typically brings us those late day storms inland areas. And then they stay off toward the east and not moving back toward the west, which it typically does during the summer months. Now the satellite imagery way out here in the central Atlantic where we like to see the storms develop. There's Debbie. There's not much to Debbie at this point. We expect it to diminish in intensity as it moves over some much colder water of the North Atlantic, but it is still holding together. Top winds are at 40 miles an hour. It comes down a little bit, and it's moving to the northeast at 15. It's expected to pick up that pace as it makes its way off to the northeast in time. Eventually, will be downgraded to a low pressure area by tomorrow afternoon, it looks like. So Debbie not along that long, and we will see more storms, I think, as we enter into late August and September. That's the general pattern. Typically only 6% of the storms are named during June, but notice September has the most activity, and we're yet to get there. And water temperatures are really warm in the Gulf of Mexico right now. 87 degrees, the heat index at 100 at this time, and the dew point temperature way up there. Here's the frontal boundary now bringing some storms into Arkansas, Missouri, stretching off into Tennessee tonight. This front will continue to get very close to North Georgia over the upcoming 24 hours, and that's where it will sit, become stationary, so expect a good deal of rainfall over the southeast. Unfortunately, they could use some of that rain out west, but with an area of high pressure firmly in control here in the upper levels of the atmosphere, they have a high heat advisory for Las Vegas, stretching down toward Los Angeles tonight, and even up into parts of Washington and Oregon. For boaters tomorrow, seas will be running less than 2 feet with a light chop out there. Winds basically 5 to 10 knots. And the 7-day forecast checks in like this. A slight chance for a few scattered showers tomorrow. A slight chance for morning showers on Friday. So not much rainfall these 2 days. We'll see better chances, but most of that will be east of I-75 on Saturday and Sunday. Alan will be back with just right after this.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
The Players Center invites you to explore the family dynamic in the classic story of On Golden Pond. The Tony Award-winning play opening August 9th is funny, thoughtful, and brutally honest. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. On Golden Pond is calling you.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Welcome back. We are inviting the candidates for the Manatee County School Board to debate, and joining us for more are the two candidates for District 2, incumbent Charlie Kennedy and challenger Alice Cadets. And as we all know, elections about winners and losers. And Alice, let me start with you and ask you to make the case why voters should fire Charlie.
I don't think he's done a very good job over the last 4 years. We haven't done a whole lot to improve our reading levels. There's been a lot of bickering going on at the board, of which he has, in part, always been in the middle of that. So I just think that the district could do better.
Charlie, why should voters choose to re-elect you?
As I said, the track record of my past 4 years, the previous year I was the chair of the board. We had a very, even though we were doing some big, heavy lifting items like completely redoing our policy book, which is the board's job. That was contentious at times, but we got it done, and we got it done in a smooth manner. And I've always tried to be a consensus builder and a bridge builder on the board because we do have some big personalities there. Mrs. Cadets is right that 2018 has been kind of an outlier year, I believe, and we've had some personality issues, we've had some clashes. But the one that I have been involved in, which was attempting to remove our chairman, which was, as I said at the time, was a reaction to the comment about having a gun in the parking lot of the school district building. That was what I thought was the right thing to do in the interest of fairness, because if that was one of our teachers or students, they would be, at minimum, they would be disciplined. And I made a move to do that because I thought it was the right thing to do. I think it sent a message to the community that we will hold each other accountable and that we are not above the law, so to speak, as school board members. And that turned into what it turned into. And I let that once it became a political issue and there was a candidate, there was an opposition candidate involved, I dropped it and I thought, let's
settle this down, because it was being portrayed in both newspapers as the dysfunction argument. But at the time, and even looking back at it now, I really thought that was the right thing to do at the time, for the sake of the image of the school board, but also to hold us accountable to our students and to our employees.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up. We have a lot more to go over. Our conversation with the candidates for District 2 on the Manatee County School Board continues after a quick break. Stay with us.
A policeman stopped.
Yeah, it was the lady parked next to me.
I called my wife.
My dad got up in the middle of the night.
My neighbor helped me out.
I called a tow truck.
Anyone can jumpstart your car, but for free installation and $10 off Duracell Ultra car batteries, there's no one like Batteries Plus bulbs.
I'll install it myself.
I'd like you to do it.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073. Or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back, everyone. We are inviting the candidates for the Manatee County School Board to debate, and joining us for more tonight are two candidates for District 2, incumbent Charlie Kennedy and his challenger Alice Cadets. We've been talking a lot about the personalities on the school board and how the school board in general has gotten together, but Alice, you've been pretty out there in terms of what your opinions are, because you've been quoted as saying that you were embarrassed by the behavior of the school board and that members of the school board cannot be trusted. But when you refer to yourself, you say, I am not part of the group. So on one hand, how are you going to build a consensus if you think inherently that no other members of the school board can be trusted?
I'm talking about the three voting members, or if you notice, the board generally has three three that vote together, my opponent and then 2 other board members, they pretty much control the direction of the school board at this given time. Just some of the decisions that they make. I haven't liked the fact that they took away the teachers' insurance from them. The teachers have just been losing so much lately. Our classrooms have been losing a lot. They are taking our children with learning disabilities and throwing them back into the classroom. And I'm hearing from the teachers that a lot of these children are not ready to go back in the classroom. They've never.
But in order to reverse some of the things you're talking about there, don't you have to work with other board members to reach a consensus in terms of what to do?
It may be a little difficult in the beginning, but yeah, I think we'll work it through.
Do you believe you are the district antagonist, as the newspaper referred to you as?
Sometimes maybe. But I don't know why, other than I comment on newspaper articles. I don't get up and speak at the board member meetings. I don't do anything to, I mean, I have been told to be quiet a few times, but other than that, I do try to behave myself at the meetings. And like I said, I've been to a lot of meetings over the years, so I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And again, I got on the ballot by the way of the petition process, so I have talked to well over 3,000 people in Manatee County to come to the conclusions that I have come to.
And Charlie, let me ask you about what's been going on the board there, because we have all watched it on television, we have all read about it in the newspaper, your efforts to remove Scott Hopes as the chairman of the school board, his issues with other members of the board. A lot of people see the dysfunction, and a lot of people are just, frankly, they're concerned about their kids getting a good education, and they don't like the theater that they're watching at every school board meeting.
Yeah, and that's a valid criticism. That there, in my perception, there have been times where the 5 of us on the dais have made it about the personality conflicts, and egos have been bruised, and we feel like we need to save face. And I think that has definitely happened where we have lost sight of our mission, which is educating kids and serving parents and serving this community. In fairness to us, I think we've put a lot of that drama behind us. We had a couple of really good sessions with the FSBA. We had a master board training, and we talked through a lot of these issues about how we can handle each other better, how we can run the meeting better, respect each other's time without cutting each other off, making sure everybody has a chance to speak. So I think we've seen a dramatic improvement since the issues that we ran into in March and April. And hopefully that will continue forward. We're going to have a new board here. No matter how this all shakes out, we're going to have a new board come November. We're really in August, because this race and Mr. Cologne's race will be decided in August.
Let me ask you this, because Alice said in Jess's setup story that she is concerned about the reading results for 3rd graders as an indicator of how they do later on in their educational careers. Are the 3rd grade reading levels where you want them to be, and do you and other board members have a plan on how to make test scores better?
Am I happy with it? Absolutely not. Manatee County is at 49% proficiency, and proficiency as graded by the state of Florida, by the Department of Education and the system they put forward. The state's average is 50%, so we're 1% below state proficiency, which is also very poor. Now, of course, where the board can get involved here is we can ask the superintendent, or through the budget process, we can, for example, say we want to shift more money to K through 2. Usually school districts in Florida, they tend to focus, they put their best teachers in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, because those are the grades that are tested. When really, I believe what we need, and I think my board colleagues would agree, is really we want to put our strongest people and our strongest efforts. I think really your strongest people is really what you need there in K through 2, so you're building that basis for 3rd, 4, and 5.
And Alice, I referred to your remarks about the test scores, but let me ask you this, because the school district was nearly taken over by the state back in 2012, and we have seen improvement. Do you give your opponent and other board members from really basically coming back from the brink?
We hired a superintendent who brought in a COO that was really good with numbers, and I think that most of the credit goes to those 2 people. And then he was asked to leave. So, and now it's basically going back in the wrong direction again as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let me ask you this, because I believe that you were not supportive of the superintendent's job that she was doing while she was here, but you do give her credit for bringing in certain people that turn things around?
No, not her. The superintendent before her.
Okay.
How she became the superintendent.
All right.
It's a real it's a mess.
Okay, let's talk a moment about school security. Obviously, Manatee County, like every school district in the state, was really put in the situation where that you've had to scramble in the aftermath of the Parkland massacre to put some kind of school resource officer in every single school. School districts have done it in different ways. They've been hamstrung in terms of finances and how quickly you've had to come up and do this. Charlie, how would you defend what the school district has done here in terms of making parents, think that their kids are going to be well protected when they come back in just a matter of days?
Okay. Let me back up to the beginning. Just shortly after Parkland took place, the superintendent, who Mrs. Cadets has nothing good to say about, even though she is widely admired and praised for the job that she did for the past 3 years. Certainly there are problems, but to say that Dr. Diana Green did a bad job, I think is just a ridiculous statement. But Dr. Green and local law enforcement and the board sat down shortly after Parkland and said, let's come up with a plan. This is what we're going to do. By the following Monday, there was a moonlighting police officer on every single Manatee Schools campus. Other counties around us were still bickering about their options. We, through Dr. Green's leadership and law enforcement's leadership, came up with a plan immediately. Now, what we're left with now is the legislature funded what's called the Guardian Program, and they called it that on purpose because they knew they were not fully funding certified law enforcement to guard our schools.
Are you supportive of a Guardian program?
I'm not, and let me preface this. I was not at the beginning, and still I believe our best option is certified law enforcement. I do feel better, and I think our parents and kids can feel safer, because nearly all of the 24 guardians that we have hired are former military or former law enforcement.
Alice, let me ask you that same question there. Are you comfortable with non-police officers armed in our kids' schools?
I don't think we have a choice right now because we don't have the necessary amount of officers to place in the schools. So this is the second best thing. It's the only choice we have, other than none.
Is the right option here forming your own police department?
No. We do education, law enforcement does police work.
Alice?
I agree with that.
All right. What about in terms of, obviously you've had a lot of challenges, Charlie, in terms of the finances of the school district. You supported the increases that we talked about here. What other steps that you need to take in terms of getting the school district on a good financial footing?
Well, the school district is on a good financial footing. I agree completely with Mrs. Cadets on this again, too. As you mentioned, we came back from the brink of state takeover in 2012. Superintendent Mills took over. He began the process, and Dr. Green became superintendent in 2005. Since then, our bond rating has gone up 2 times. Our fund balance has surpassed 5%. We're mandated by the state to have 3%. That's the first time in recent memory we've ever hit 5%. So we're on stable financial ground.
And I want to give you a chance to respond to that, but we do have to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment.
When I was growing up, my mom told us, always treat others the way you want to be treated. She did business with companies that shared her values, like Mutual of Omaha. She had a guaranteed whole life insurance policy through United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, a Mutual of Omaha company. When my mother passed away, her United of Omaha policy helped cover her funeral expenses and bills, and they had money on its way to us within 24 hours.
United of Omaha is here to take care of you. When you call the number on your screen, we'll help find the right policy for you. If you're between 45 and 85, you can get coverage up to $25,000 with no medical exam. Call us right now at the number on your screen.
Now I know I'll be taking care of my family, even after I'm gone.
United of Omaha guaranteed whole life insurance. Call or go online now. Be there for their future.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information, and be involved. Don't ignore the signs. Join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley, and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. We have 2 minutes left here. So Alice, what is the one thing that you want our viewers to walk away from this conversation with?
I want them to get out and vote. I want them to take the time to find out who the candidates are. I know in many elections this is just the primaries, but they really need to take the time to look at who's out there and who's available to vote for, and take the time to vote.
Quick question. What is the one biggest policy difference that you have with Charlie?
Probably my push for education. I haven't really heard him say a whole lot about that. Ever since I started this, my campaign has been about getting more money into the K through 3 grades, making sure that they have aides in the classrooms, things like that. Again, because of the emphasis that is being put on when the children fail. If we have 50,000 children, 50,000 students and 25,000 fail the 3rd grade, that's possible 25,000 people every year that are going to end up in jail, and those numbers are unacceptable.
Charlie, we'll respond to that if you like, and also just tell us what you want our viewers to walk away from tonight.
Well, I would just walk away from, or I would hope viewers would walk away from this with an interest in the race. Manatee County, our race is kind of running under the radar a little bit because you have some bigger personalities than the other ones. The League of Women Voters, Jess Dowdrick did a profile on all of us here at Channel 7. There is lots of information. I've been talking about education issues for beyond 4 years, even when I was a teacher at Manatee High School in the classroom. We both have plenty of positions out there between questionnaires and interviews we've done. You can find me on social media. You can find, I have plenty of position statements out there, and folks know how to reach me if they'd like to learn more.
Thank you both. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of you had to say about last night's show on the Suncoast's efforts to preserve the environment. A growing number of local restaurants and stores are getting rid of plastic straws and bags, while many states and communities are banning the use of plastic straws and bags. Florida has yet to make any changes. Paula says the plastics are hurting sea life. I say do away with plastics. It's a step in the right direction at least. And Kim says simple, walk on the beach with a bag and pick up what you can. Every little bit helps, especially our Gulf critters. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight, joining us, incumbent Charlie Kennedy and challenger Alice Cadets. When we return, is President Trump going to be interviewed by the special counsel? But right now, let's get the final check on our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, as we all know, a lot of things that are hurting the Gulf critters there are the red tide, and this is the latest report from the FWC indicating that high concentrations of red tide now being felt from Collier County northward to Manatee County. Even into Pinellas County, we have a moderate sample taken there, and that's medium to moderate there to low all the way up to Pinellas County. But high concentrations have really spread northward, as we've noticed with all the fish kills and sea life that have been reported dead in Washington Shore as a result of that red tide. We think ABC Tower Cam showing pretty calm conditions out there on the bay right now. You can see some high clouds around. We had a little bit of pollution in the atmosphere as a result of the high pressure ridge, but still should make for a nice sunset tonight. We do have some light rain around across parts of the coastal communities in South Sarasota and also into Central Sarasota. A few morning coastal storms are possible over the upcoming days due to a change of wind, and it looks like we will see that stay with us too, that west wind continuing through Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday of next week. And that usually means warm and muggy overnight readings, lows right around 80 degrees with even feels like temperatures at 11 and 90. Mainly inland storms late in the afternoon and evening. That's a typical pattern for Florida. And then those usually progress back toward the west coast in the late afternoon and evening, but that's not going to be the case. They're going to move to the east coast, and we're seeing some of that tonight. The outflow boundary from these big storms that were around into central Florida, creating this patch of shower activity and even a few lightning strikes occasionally with this, all moving off to the west-northwest and into Lakewood Ranch now, getting some light rain to moderate rainfall near Northport as well. And this is a rather large area of it. We have this upper level low, which may be enhancing it somewhat. So normally we don't see as much widespread rain, but we are seeing some light rain into Inglewood, stretching up to Lakewood Ranch, even going to get into, looks like downtown Sarasota before long. But the heaviest, and it's not all that intense, but it has been producing an occasional lightning strike, so keep that in mind. Even though it doesn't look too intense, there could be one or two lone lightning strikes coming out of that from Lakewood Ranch all the way over to Bethany and Verna getting some rainfall. Not much in Braden and Palmetto, Anna Maria Island at this time, but this is developing and kind of working its way off toward the west-northwest. The more intense storms are inland into Polk County right now. As far as the wind flow goes, because of that rain coming in and that gust front, if you will, from the heavier storms, it's out of the east-southeast now. It had been out of the west-southwest. And it looks as though we're seeing that east and northeasterly wind now as a result of the outflow from the heavier rains that fell into Hardee and DeSoto counties. We have this upper level feature right here. It's a low pressure area. You see it right there. That may be enhancing that light rainfall that we're seeing right now. This will continue to drift away from the coast, so we do believe, and get into the central Gulf by tomorrow midday. So overnight, after midnight, most of the rain should be out of here, and then we'll see generally fair skies. A few morning showers are possible along the coast, and then up until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, most of that will be spreading inland toward the east coast in time. Similar conditions expected on and through Friday with late morning, right around noon showers, and then the main heavy storms will be well into central Florida late in the day. So for boaters tomorrow, we'll have seas running less than 2 feet and a light chop out there. Seas running less than 2 feet as well on into Friday. The extended forecast calling for a slight chance for showers tomorrow at 30%, 20% on Friday as that low exits a stage left, and then better chances for inland storms Saturday and Sunday. We bounce back up to a 40% chance on Saturday, 50% chance on Sunday. Primetime Headlines is next. Stick around.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
It's summer on the Sun Coast, and you know what that means. It's Friday Fest season.
And you are invited.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy some of today's most popular country songs, mixed with a healthy dose of hits from pop, rock, dance, and the blues, August 17th with Sarasota's Rebel Heart.
With high-energy music, food trucks, beverage vendors, and more, it's the perfect spot to enjoy our summer sunset over the bay.
For more information, go to this number or go to mysuncoast.com/FridayFest.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump's legal team says they have responded to Robert Mueller's request for an interview, though they did not reveal the terms of the offer. This comes as the first criminal trial arising from the special counsel's probe is still underway. ABC's Arlette Saenz has more from the nation's capital.
It's the latest volley over a potential interview between the special counsel and President Trump.
It should be over with by September 1st. We have now given him an answer. He should take a few days to consider it, but we should get this resolved.
During his colleague Jay Sekulow's radio show, the president's attorney responded to a question from ABC News.
If there's going to be an interview, let's have it. If there's not going to be an interview, then let him write his report.
Sources close to the White House tell us that the president's legal team told Mueller they want to narrow the scope of an interview and are inclined not to take questions about obstruction of justice. They're willing to consider appropriate written questions, but sources would not say if that means they're against oral questions. This comes after sources close to the White House say Mueller recently told Trump's team he wants to question the president in writing and in person and would like to ask him about obstruction of justice. Sources say that potential line of questioning infuriated the president. While the details of a possible interview get worked out, the first criminal trial stemming from Mueller's investigation entered day 7. The special counsel's star witness, Rick Gates, wrapped his testimony against his former boss, Paul Manafort. Gates told a jury he helped Manafort hide millions of dollars from the IRS through offshore accounts. Manafort's team tried to paint Gates as an unreliable witness, a man willing to say anything for a lighter sentence. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to 18 counts of alleged financial crimes, which prosecutors say occurred before he chaired the Trump campaign. Negotiations for a presidential interview have been going on for months. Mueller could ultimately decide to subpoena the president, but Trump's legal team says they're ready to take that fight to the Supreme Court. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is imposing more sanctions on Russia. The decision comes after the poisoning of a former Russian agent and his daughter in the UK earlier this year. The U.S. is accusing Russia of being behind the poisonings. Russian President Vladimir Putin has previously denied Russia was involved. The sanctions are expected to go into effect around August 22nd. Congressman Chris Collins of New York has been indicted on insider trading. Federal prosecutors say the Republican, his son, and another man are facing 13 charges of security fraud, wire fraud, and false statements. The U.S. Attorney's Office alleges the defendants avoided hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses by using non-public information to trade shares of an Australian pharmaceutical company. Collins spoke with CNN's Wolf Blitzer about the allegations back in January.
Did you encourage him to buy stock in this company called Innate Immunotherapeutics?
No, absolutely not. There was nothing done that was insider trading or unethical.
Himself in this morning, but his attorney claims the congressman will be exonerated. Caitlyn Jenner has been quietly lobbying lawmakers to reverse President Trump's ban on transgender people in the U.S. military. She told Variety magazine she met with about 50 members of the House and Senate, including House Speaker Paul Ryan and members of the Trump administration, to discuss equality. She also said there should be protections for transgender service members, and the U.S. needs to create laws on equality. In March, the White House announced a ban on transgender people serving in the military following President Trump's tweet on this topic. 11 months after Hurricane Maria wreaked havoc on Puerto Rico, officials say power has been restored to most of the island's residents. The Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority tweeting of the nearly 1.4 million customers who lost power after the storm, only 25 remain in the dark. The state-owned utility has struggled over the last year to recover from last September's storm. That's when Maria struck the island as a Category 4 hurricane, the strongest storm to hit the U.S. territory in 85 years. It resulted in the largest blackout in U.S. history. And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.